You're not lazy. You're not a failure. You're just someone who was never told that. Feeling lost is actually the beginning. Look at your life right now. Maybe you're surrounded by people, but you still feel alone. In a way you can't explain. Maybe everyone around you seems to have a plan, a direction, a dream they're chasing, and you're sitting there wondering, why don't I feel that way? You scroll through your phone at night. You see people your age building things, achieving things, and for a second, you feel this quiet shame, like you're somehow falling behind in a race you didn't even sign up for. So you try harder, you make plans, you write goals, but somehow that emptiness doesn't leave. It just sits there, patient, heavy, like it's waiting for something. And in those quiet moments, when the noise of the world fades, you ask yourself the one question that scares you the most. What am I even doing with my life? If that question lives somewhere inside you right now, then this message was always meant to find you. Because Krishna doesn't speak to those who have everything figured out. He speaks to those who are honest enough to admit that they are lost. And being lost, my friend, is not your weakness. It is your honesty. There was a moment on a battlefield when the greatest warrior in the world dropped his bow. Arjuna, powerful, trained, chosen, stood there trembling, not because he was weak, but because he was human. He looked around and said, "Krishna, I don't know what to do." And Krishna didn't laugh at him. He didn't say, "You should have figured this out by now." He didn't compare him to anyone else on that battlefield. He simply stayed. And then he spoke. He said, "You are grieving over what does not deserve grief, not with judgment, with understanding, because Krishna knew something that Arjuna had forgotten, something that maybe you have forgotten too. You are not lost because you are broken. You are lost because you are in between who you were and who you are becoming. That space in the middle, that uncomfortable, confusing, directionless space, Krishna calls it transformation. The world calls it failure. And that's the difference. The world looks at your confusion and says, "You're behind." Krishna looks at your confusion and says, "You're being prepared." Every soul that was ever meant for something meaningful went through this exact darkness first. Not some of them, all of them. The seed doesn't know it will become a tree. It just sits in the soil, in the dark, in silence, feeling nothing but pressure. And then one day, without warning, it breaks open. Not because the darkness left, but because it grew through it. Think about the moments in your life that actually changed you. Were they the comfortable ones? The easy mornings? The days when everything made sense? Or were they the nights you cried without knowing why? The moments you felt so stuck, you thought something was seriously wrong with you. It was those moments, wasn't it? Krishna says something in the Gita that most people read, but very few actually feel. He says, your role is to act, not to control the outcome, not to know the full path before you take the first step. just to act. But here's what nobody tells you about that teaching. It doesn't mean do more. Sometimes it means be still. Because there's a difference between someone who is lost and someone who is waiting. You might not be lost at all. You might just be in a chapter that doesn't make sense yet. And that's the hardest kind of chapter to live through. Because you're doing everything right. You're trying, you're feeling, you're searching, but the page won't turn. So you start doubting yourself. You start thinking, maybe I'm not meant for anything great. Maybe I missed my chance. Maybe everyone else just has something I don't. And that voice, that quiet, cruel, patient voice inside your head, that is not the truth. That is fear, wearing the mask of logic. Krishna never once told Arjuna to have all the answers. He told him to have trust. Trust in something larger than what your eyes can see. Trust in the timing of your own life. Trust that the version of you sitting in confusion right now is not the final version. You are unfinished, and unfinished is not the same as incomplete. A painting looks like nothing in the middle. Colors that don't match. Lines that make no sense. But the painter knows. The painter always knows. And maybe, just maybe, you are not the painter. You are the painting, still being made, still being shaped, by hands far more careful than your own. You've been so busy asking Krishna, "Where is my path?" that you never stop to hear him ask you, "Why don't you trust the one who is walking beside you?" Think about that. Really think about it. You've been searching for direction, as if Krishna handed everyone else a map, and somehow forgot about you. But that's not how he works. He doesn't give you the full picture. He gives you the next step, and then the next, and then the next. Not because he doesn't care enough to show you more, but because he knows if you saw the whole journey at once, you would be too afraid to begin. So he covers it, gently, like a parent walking with a child in the dark, not turning on every light at once, just lighting the step, right in front of their feet. And here is the truth that will either break something in you or heal it. The fact that you are still here, still trying, still searching, still feeling, that itself is Krishna's hand on your back. You didn't give up, even when you had every reason to, even when nothing made sense, even when the silence felt unbearable. You are still here. And that is not a small thing. That is not an accident. Most people never realize that the searching itself is the answer. You were never meant to arrive. You were meant to walk. And every step you took in confusion, every night you spent questioning, every morning you woke up and tried again, was not wasted, was not meaningless, was not lost. It was devotion, without you even knowing it. You were walking toward Krishna. The whole time you thought you were walking alone. So tonight, when you lie down and the questions come back, am I enough? Am I on the right path? Will this feeling ever go away? Don't fight them. Just breathe. And remember, Krishna was not found in the grandest temples. He was not found in the loudest prayers. He was found in the quiet surrender of a single soul who finally stopped pretending they had it all figured out and whispered, "I don't know where I'm going, but I trust you." That whisper is enough. You don't need to have direction today. You don't need to have answers today. You don't need to be a finished version of yourself today. All you need to do is take one small, honest step, not toward success, not toward a goal, just toward stillness, just toward trust. Because the soul that is lost, but still searching, is far closer to Krishna than the one who stopped feeling altogether. Your confusion is sacred. Your searching is sacred. Even your pain is sacred. Because it means you haven't gone numb. It means you still care. It means somewhere deep inside you, there is a flame that refuses to go out. And that flame has a name. It is the part of you that Krishna never left. So rest now. Not because everything is figured out, but because you are held by something that was never confused about you. Even when you were confused about yourself, you are not lost. You are loved. And love always knows the way home.